What's going on, you guys? It's Coach Ike, and today we're going to talk about how to go from good to great. Man, this is a great conversation, and I believe a lot of people go through this, and really it is a mental hurdle in order for this to happen. And I'm going to share a story about myself. I remember playing youth football. I always played DB, so that position to me was always common to me. But I didn't know I can play receiver until I got to high school. So playing receiver, very raw. I already, was athletic enough, but at the same time, I just really never played the position during youth football. Wasn't given the opportunity. Once I get to high school, was given the opportunity a lot. Of course, had the ability, was fast, quick, all these things. So naturally, the coach put me at receiver, which I started. Blossomed real fast because of my speed, and we had a quarterback who actually had a cannon. So all we did, I remember my coach to this day, and we joke about it with my friends. We only had like two plays we really call 999, which is all bombs, and 979. So on the outside you got nines, and then in the slots you got corners. It was funny. So and that's how we was winning. But playing that position and learning, remember just catching the ball. Of course, I would have a lot of drops, not focusing, not even understanding how to, focus my eyes and catch the ball at a consistent rate. So my my sophomore year, move up to varsity, playing mainly DB, play receiver a little, but not too much. We didn't really need me at receiver. My junior year, though, really my role as a receiver really stepped up. Really didn't get a lot of throws, but for the most part, I played receiver a lot. Defense was still my main focus, playing corner. So my sophomore year made all honorable mention in our league, and then my junior year, I don't even recall making anything on defense or offense. But I recall playing receiver, and throughout this transition, learning how to run routes, learning my speed, all these things, how to set guys up, and catching the ball consistently again. So my junior year, I remember like it was yesterday, October 13th. We're playing a Friday game. Went to go catch a pass, caught it. Safety hit me and fall to the ground. Now I get up, go to the next play. Quarterback threw an interception. I don't even know what happened. I just ran off, walked off the field. I was already lined up next to our sideline, walked off to the field. My shoulder was hurting. And I recall that I felt that my shoulder was bleeding. Took out my shoulder pads, nothing was going on. I'm like, man, something's not right. Went to the hospital, found out I had an AC sprain in my joint, shoulder joint. So that had me out for a month. From there, hoping that we get, win the last two games so I can come back, we did it. So senior year, during this opportunity, off season, I'm really training a lot for receiver. Because I'm going to be relied on a lot. I was going to be one of the starters because I knew the offense, and we were all sophomores coming together, and now we was all seniors. So we was going to play a big role, in which we did. But that off season, we was going hard at receiver, catching and being more consistent. So I remember season starts. We're here now. First game of the season, we lose. Offense doesn't do too well, but at the same time, we are seeing the fruit of the labors that we put in that off season. All of us, quarterbacks and receivers, that we put in, and we see just a part of it in that first game season. I remember it was like the fourth game of the season, playing that team again where I got hurt, and I remember the safety who hit me. He was a senior the year before, so he left. But I remember vividly the play that had happened. I ran a post, and I recall just two people being around the corner and the safety. And watching the film, if I would have caught the ball, the safety wasn't even going to hit me. But I dropped the ball because I was more thinking about getting hit. And, all I could think of was about my shoulder. And prior to that game, that constant thought of me getting hit just kept coming up and up over and over. And, as a player prior to the game, I like to visualize success and those things. So after I dropped that pass, for some odd reason, it was like everything was fine. I was like, oh, okay, we good now. And I remember exactly that moment. I remember I got a pick not too shortly after that, got an interception to the house. And at the same time, we blew out that team, and I also scored a touchdown on offense. After that play, essentially our seasons all together, but my ascension as a player just continued to go higher and higher. I end up being co-MVP of the team on offense, our quarterback and myself. On offense, we did extremely good things. We did great things. Our quarterback was all area. He threw for 2,000 yards and ran for, I believe, 900 yards on the ground. At the same time, me and my other receiver, we were both over 1,000 yards. I led the team in touchdowns on the season. I believe I had 12 on offense, and then just overall, I had 16 or 17 playing defense and special teams. So my ascension from me going good to great, it was really a mental hurdle that I had to get over. And that carried over for offense as well as defense. Like, it was only me holding myself back for reaching my full potential. And in order for us to get over that good to great, it's building confidence and reps. What do I mean by confidence? In order for you to get over good to great, you have to have belief in yourself, which is something I always had, and I've never been loud about it. But at the same time, you also fight against that doubt that creeps in, which everybody experiences, but you have to suppress it. And these are the things for you to play confident, is to constantly put yourself in that situation, but overcome it. So confidence, that's one way of building it. At the same time, reps. How can you put yourself in this situation, this high pressure situation, where you're able to focus in, lock in, and compete, but at the same time perform? And I believe it comes down to reps. Now, that can be on the football field, that can play another sport. And the reason why I see kids having a harder time going from good to great mentally is because they're not competing as often. And what I mean by that is, I remember when I was growing up, we used to play sports year round. So we would be in track, you got to compete. Football, you got to compete. Basketball, you're competing. It doesn't matter whatever it was, you're competing against somebody else. You can say 7-on-7 now, but I don't believe that's the same, because a lot of people don't even take it serious. Especially if your team is not good, you're not going to be in a high pressure situation, because you're not going to be in the championship games and whatnot. I recall when playing basketball, I only played basketball 1 year in high school because I wanted to focus in on football and track more. I remember I only came in, I was really a defensive guy. I remember I got a steal and I was going for a layup, I got fouled. Now, I remember going to the free throw line. We was in a close game, and mind you, this is JV. We was in a close game, and when I had to go shoot those free throws, man, hands sweating, heart pounding even harder, rim is shaking. It was like, this is crazy. Missed those 2 free throws, wasn't even close, like at all. So hard, but at the same time, I didn't practice. I didn't practice to be in those moments consistently. I wasn't doing the things where was able to slow myself down, my breathing, and understand, okay, this is the moment I want to excel in these moments. So when you're able to slow yourself down and compete and think logically and not get flustered in those positions, when you're in that kitchen and that oven get turned on, can you handle that heat? So that confidence and then those reps are going to help you bridge that gap from being good to great. So this is Coach Ike. You guys let me know what y'all think.